Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Jim Chamberlain, and this is the Morning Market Minute with the Chamberlain Experia Group for August the 1st, 2025, with breaking news within our industry that's been reported today. Today, we're going to talk about the major regulatory shift that's going to impact nearly every one of us in the life and health insurance business. New licensing and oversight rules for managing general agencies, or MGAs as we know them. So let's start with the big picture. MGAs are now the dominant force within the life and health policy distributions. According to all the information that's out there, for almost two-thirds of all new individual policies premiums that are generated in Canada. That's according to the Financial Service Regulatory FISRA in Ontario. But as MGAs have grown, there's been a real lack of regulatory oversight, leaving there a gray zone in the middle of the distribution channels between the insurance carriers and the agents who are directly working with the clients. There's a comment coming from a partner at BLG specializing in insurance law, Rick DaCosta. Put it this way: you had one major part in the middle that was really left unchecked, and now regulators are trying to play catch up. Well, Saskatchewan introduced back in 2020 MGA licensing, and New Brunswick actually followed in 23 after several years of reviews. Now, Ontario is set to roll out its framework in June of next year of 2026. So why the urgency all of a sudden with FISRA? Well, FISRA reviews have uncovered troubling practices, and agents are not being properly trained or supervised. Clients being sold policies they really didn't need, and recent enforcement actions against major players like Greatway Financial and World Financial Group um, is a issue. And in response, FISRA launched a six-part action plan and proposed rules under a category of 2025-001, which will create a separate licensing class for MGAs and set out clear compliance and oversight requirements going forward after the June 1st, 2026 date. And here's what's changing. MGAs will need to be licensed and renewed at least every 3 years, which means greater regulatory oversight for the MGAs. They must have compliance programs and designated compliance officers. In some cases, that hasn't been taking place. Annual assessments of sub MGAs are going to be required. Annual, every year. Client continual, client continuity. Well, let's try that again. Client continuity, because I'll edit out. Client continuity plans are mandatory, ensuring clients aren't left stranded if their agents leave the business, which happens quite regularly. Now, the industry response has been generally positive. Many see this as a logical step to protecting the consumer and improving training and ensuring everyone in the distribution channels are accountable. For MGAs, this strong compliance system, it's business as usual, but for others, it's going to be a wake-up call for sure. But there are challenges, and some of the MGAs are concerned about the administrative burden that FISRA is expecting, especially for those with dozens of insurer contracts or sub-agencies. There's also a debate about who should be responsible for compliance audits, FISRA, the MGAs, or the insurance providers themselves. Well, there's been a lot of talk, and some of the MGAs are facing multiple audits all year long. So it's becoming such a burden. So, how do we ensure ongoing service to the orphan clients, especially? And when trailing commissions on those orphan clients aren't necessarily very attractive, and it's not an incentive for advisors to actually take over these contracts. The rule is really principle based, focusing on outcomes rather than prescribing every detail, which means more guidance from FISRA will be needed. Insurers and MGAs will share accountability, but clarity on roles and responsibilities is still a work in progress. And there's many comments coming from many MGAs out there making recommendations back to FISRA right now And between now and 2026, there's going to be a lot of negotiation taking place. Some of the rules that they're talking about is agents aren't going to be able to, or possibly not be able to recruit. There could be some restrictions on that taking place. So stay tuned as the year goes on between now and next year as to what happens. Now, the bottom line for us as agents, your relationship with your MGA will be just as regulated as your relationships with the carriers. When your MGA asks for compliance documentation, it's now going to be a regulatory requirement, which means it's going to have more teeth to it. So you're going to have to comply. Calvin Kong, an Ottawa based agent that was asked about how to sum it up, and he said that there's going to be a clear lines of communication and we'll be able to work more as a collective. That's especially important as our industry shifts away from captive agents and addresses the gaps in training and mentorship that has been taking place. Well, to wrap it up, these changes are about more transparency, better consumer protection, and more professionalism within our industry. And that's especially for all of us. And if you have any questions about these impacts to your business or your clients, let's connect. I'm always here to help and navigate what's next and set you up for a long term success. That's been your Morning Market Minute, and have yourself a fantastic day.